question now is, what is the difference between spirulina and chlorella?
Chlorella is a green algae and has a very tough cell wall, a cellulose cell wall. So actually the cell wall of chlorella needs to be broken to make the contents digestible. Spirulina is a blue-green algae, or a cyanobacteria, or that's synonymous with blue-green algae. So as a blue-green algae, the cell wall of spirulina is very digestible. Also, spirulina contains a compound called phycocyanin, which is only found in blue-green algae. It is not found in chlorella. Spirulina also has a much higher concentration of carotenoids, such as beta-carotene and zeaxanthin. Further, recent research over the last 5 years has shown that spirulina contains an antiviral polysaccharide and also a compound called melanin that enhances the immune system. And phycocyanin, it really is a unique compound. It's actually an antioxidant protein, and it's been shown to actually protect the liver against damage and poisons, and also help protect the kidneys against damage. And we have some scientific papers on that, where rats were intentionally fed a compound that would cause kidney damage, kidney failure. And when they ate phycocyanin first, kidney damage was avoided. So it's very unique things about spirulina is it's antiviral, it stimulates the immune system, has phycocyanin, and also has very high levels of beta-carotene and zeaxanthin. We do have those papers, yes. Yeah, the other question is, some people claim that chlorella is a single-cell algae which is hard to digest. And indeed, chlorella is a single-cell algae, and it has a very tough cell wall with cellulose, and it is hard to digest. And to make it easier to digest, the cell wall actually has to be broken. Now, spirulina does not have any cellulose in its cell wall, and its cell wall is very easy to digest. But spirulina is actually a multicellular microalgae. But all the cells are the same. It grows in a large coil, like this picture up here, and you can see the individual cells, although that's an artist's picture. But those are many cells, maybe 50 or 60 cells in a spiral wound shape. But when the spirulina is dried, it breaks apart, but the cells are very easy to digest. Well, spirulina actually means little spiral, and it grows in this little spiral as many cells connected to one another. Yes, but all the cells are exactly the same. They're identical.
They join together and form a line, and it coils.
But the cell walls of spirulina are very easy to digest, and the protein in spirulina is very easy to digest. Okay. Oh, the best strain and species of spirulina we actually think is what we're growing here at Sanotech, Spirulina Pacifica. And the reason for that is we've actually cultured spirulina continuously here at Sanotech since 1985. That's when we started, yes. And we started, the original strain of Spirulina Pacifica was Spirulina platensis. And what we found after a number of years of continuous culture is that the spirulina got a little larger and also started having higher amounts of beta-carotene. Spirulina platensis, or actually the nomenclature has changed and is now called Athrospira platensis. But we actually think that it does have some scientific validity, because the spirulina that we grow here, Spirulina Pacifica, has gotten larger. It has more beta-carotene than any other spirulina, and actually researchers at the University of Hawaii have found 2 unique enzymes in Spirulina Pacifica that they couldn't find in any other spirulina. So the spirulina, after many, many thousands, probably millions of generations, has adapted to the very intense sunlight here in Kona and changed. It's gotten more hardy to these conditions and contains more nutrients.
So what is a platensis?
Platensis is just a spirulina that's been isolated in various places in the world. In Mexico, there have been some isolated in California.
Oh, there is a lot of platensis,
Yes,
but the Pacifica is yours.
yes. Comparison between chlorophyll levels of spirulina and chlorella. The chlorophyll levels of chlorella is a bit higher than in spirulina.
That's the one thing that chlorella really has over spirulina, that it has a higher level of chlorophyll. In almost every other key nutrient, you'll find spirulina has higher levels. And as Jerry mentioned before, spirulina has components that aren't even present in chlorella, like phycocyanin, like some of these isolates, mucopolysaccharides, and I'm sorry, what's the name of the Imulina, melanine. Yeah, so there's many different things in spirulina that you won't find at all in chlorella that are very beneficial for health.
So what is the best strain? Is still Pacifica?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
But one thing I want to make clear, we don't just claim ours is the best. We send out ours and other brands to independent laboratories, and we measure the important parts of spirulina. We measure the key nutrients, and we measure also things like contaminants, like heavy metals. And we have actually, we're not just saying ours is the best, we can show you proof from independent laboratories that ours is the best.
All right.
It's not just that we're saying it.
Yeah.
I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Lisa, I want to tell you about liquid spirulina, okay? In spirulina, there are many different types of nutrients. Some of the very important nutrients in spirulina are oil soluble. Oil soluble means that it won't mix with water. Now, there are other components that are water soluble. We talked before about phycocyanin. That's water soluble. Okay, now, for example, there's carotenoids in spirulina. There's zeaxanthin and beta-carotene, which are very good for your eyes. If you take a water extract of spirulina, you won't get any zeaxanthin, you won't get any beta-carotene. It won't do anything to help your eyes. The only good way to take spirulina is a tablet or a powder. A liquid water extract will not have all the components.
So why that? It's very strong smell. It's just before. When we got it from Taiwan, the smell is not so strong. But now the smell is very strong. It's because there is you put on the ingredient 1.4, and because no coating of what?
Yes.
Just because no coating.
No coating.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Is it dangerous for the coating?
It depends what kind of coating they use. And to tell you the truth, we didn't have access to all of their processes, and we didn't do any quality control on the finished product back then. That's why it's very important now. Luxor buys directly from Sinotech, and we know exactly what we're doing, and we know exactly how to make the tablets. We've been doing these tablets for 24 years. Now, from Taiwan, the smell may have been reduced because of additional excipients or because of coating of the tablets.
More fillers.
What is, you get GRAS certificate. What is this? What is this? So you can get the GRAS. What is the
level? Actually, the safest certification that the FDA can provide is GRAS. GRAS means generally regarded as safe. And when a substance gets GRAS status, it can be used in any food and any supplement. It can be put into drinks. It can be put into power or health bars. It can be put into breakfast cereals, chewing gum, and anything, because it has been recognized that it's a safe component for human use under any conditions. And that's the spirulina that Sinotech produces has achieved that GRAS status from the U.S. FDA. Sinotech spirulina and the one other U.S. manufacturer.